Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Let's Talk About Fixed Star, November 2023. Once a month, me and Chris will meet each other here and talk about an interesting Fixed Star share their mythology and different cultures' meaning. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Rod. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. And how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. It's
Yeah.
November. Obviously, it's November, but it's November weather in my place. It's raining
Oh,
cats and dogs the whole day.
oh man. Well, yeah, November is like that. You just like because this is Scorpio season, so for
Yes.
us it's a little bit for North Hemisphere, it's always a little bit dark and a little bit gloomy. And especially I have to say the world situation is not that funny. So also may have an impact on us. But it is also a time to remind us, I think in the Hindu culture, they have a Diwali at this moment. So remind us like bring the light from the dark. So it's always like a hey, cheer up, hey, cheer up. I know this is your specialty. I'm in psychology, and the thing is, I'm not going to step into there, but it's usually just like, why? Why should I get up? To be honest. Okay, so Chris, what what star are we going to talk about today?
We are talking about Ras Alhague in Ophiuchus.
It sounds like a very interesting name, but I mean, it's a, both name are a little bit like Ras Alhaque and Ophiuchus. It's just like I don't feel I'm familiar with them to be honest, because it's honestly first. I mean, Ophiuchus have an interesting position in our astrology because some people, or I say scientists, are trying to play with the astrologers, say you have 13 signs but you don't know. I say, we know that, but we just don't want to use it. And then, have you noticed there is one foot step into the ecliptic? So we know, and we also know Aries is totally not an ecliptic, but we still use it, and you too, you use it.
Yeah.
Well, so yes, Ophiuchus and Ras Alhague, that would be it is a very interesting constellation and a very interesting star to talk about. So that's a beginning, and I will, as usual, I will start with the a little bit astronomy and a little bit about the Vivian Rapson and everything's view, also Manilius' view. And then I will hand it to Christian, and then we'll bring back, I will talk about the other culture's view of Ras Alhague. So let me share my screen first. Uh, are we, what I'm doing now? I need to do it again. Sorry. Here we are. Yes, here we are.
Here we
So
are. Great
yeah, thank you.
picture.
Yes, I know. Thank you. I edited it because I use the AI. I use the AI doing a lot of things because I couldn't draw, I couldn't pen, and I don't have artistic skill. So I say, do this for me, and then I start to editing it. So this picture take me a lot of time to editing, to be honest, but I like it. And so it's the Ras Alhague and the constellation of Ophiuchus. Well, the first Ras Alhague, it is, to be honest, in the I think summertime is very easy to see, especially in the North Hemisphere. And it's in the constellation of Ophiuchus, and the magnitude is 2 degrees. And this means it's not that bright, to be honest. Compare with the stars around this area, this is not a bright star. And second, for astrologer, we always want to know about zodiac degree, zodiac degree. Okay, in the 2023, its position is at 22 degrees Sagittarius, 46 minutes. Back to year 2000, 2227. Back to 1980s, it's 2210. And in 1960s, 21 degree, 54. Well, very interesting. I'd like to show you. If you look at the sky, where it is, I think between late spring, summer, and early autumn, you can always see this star in this area because it's right very close. It's not close, but it's, if you find the Milky Way, to be honest, if you find the summer Milky Way and the Antares, and you just going up to north, you may able to see this Ras Alhague, and the next to it would be Ras Alhague. They are very close, and not far from them that would be Otter, the eagles, the star in the eagles. So, but first, I already say this constellation play a tricky role in the science, the battle between scientists and the astrologer. But the star itself seems like always have a endless battling or endless struggling meaning inside. So first, let's see how Robinson and everything says that. Well, according to Ptolemy, these stars has Saturn and the Venus. Well, you can think about Saturn and Venus. What does that mean? Well, modern astrologer maybe say, well, be conservative with money or value. But for Vivian Robinson, this is how he read. It gives misfortune with woman, Saturn and the Venus. That's how he read it. Misfortune with woman. And second, perfect test. Ooh, I like to know what they mean and what they think. And a little bit dysfunction is a mental state. So maybe some mental health issue. I don't know. That's what he's trying to say, trying to indicate. For acting is quite interesting. He said people, though influenced, are easily going to use medical drug. Well, either they are very, very fragile, need drug every day, or either they just addict to something, tobacco, alcohol, or any kind of a drug, poison, insect bite, snake bite, which, to be honest, very straightforward, very straightforward. You got a snake, you got a many snake, so you get snake bite. Okay, so easy peasy. To be honest, I'm still wondering why astrologers don't use fixed star. It's so easy. You get a bear, you get a bear bite. You get dog, you get dog bite. You get snake, you get snake bite. Why you don't use it? Well, come to my favorite astrologer. Come to my favorite astrologer. To be honest, Marcus Manilius is one of my favorite astrologer to apply the fixed star. Or I say very easy because he always use part of a very literal meaning in the mythology, which is there is no distortion, which is just like this is what the mythology say, so you use it. But sometimes could be, yes, your dog bite or snake bite or something. But let's see how he say it. I love his description. The first, because it's a snake man. It's a snake man, so man with snake. So they are able to kiss with snake, burn no monster, and suffer no harm. So that means they are very skillful snake, snake charmer, or who play with snake. They can hiding snake in their robe and without get hurt. That's indication. Well, this type of person, they may be very good to play the snake. But the second part of it, Ophiuchus and the serpent. They say one serpent in front of Ophiuchus, the tail is in another side of Ophiuchus. And he said, the battle will last forever, for they fight in an equal turn and equal strength. Because the paragraph he describes how Ophiuchus balance between the twisted snake head and the curlier snake tail. So it's a very vivid image. You see whole snake is like struggling, and you have difficult to hold it. And he is trying to balance between this tail and head. And I was just like, I like his description because he is talking about eternal battle, eternal fight with our struggle. Or you try to balance, you try to put this head down, that side coming up. You try to put this side down, that side coming up. That kind of a comic image. So it's like endless battle, and I really like it because it is also straightforward, but a more useful message rather than kind of talking about any person related to Ophiuchus would be a junkie.
Excellent. That's really interesting what Manilio said.
Yes.
So let's do the screen share and then we can hopefully start. So as Rod said, it's in Ophiuchus, the snake bearer, and that means head of the serpent. And Ophiuchus is one of the 48 classical constellations. And Ophiuchus is one constellation, and the serpent he holds in his hand is another, also described by Ptolemy. So serpents is divided into two parts. There is serpent caput, means the head of the snake, and serpent's cauda, this means the tail of the snake. And between these two parts of the serpent is Ophiuchus. And what's interesting is the central position of the serpent bearer in the sky. This is really remarkable. It is almost equidistant from the poles and halfway between the equinoxes. And as Rod has said, the Milky Way runs through the western part of the constellation. When the constellation Scorpius lost its claws to Libra, it also lost most of its contact with the ecliptic. And Ophiuchus currently intersects a larger area of the ecliptic than modern Scorpio. And as Rod said, of course, that does not mean that Ophiuchus is a new zodiac sign. That's, of course, rubbish. According to Hyginus, the constellation represents Asclepius, and his parents, Asclepian's parents, were Apollo, the sun god, and Princess Coronis. So Asclepius started out as a semigod, and Asclepius' wife was Epione, the goddess of pain relief. Interesting couple. So Apollo took Coronis as his mistress, and the princess was pregnant by the sun god, but could not resist the advances of a mortal. And by having sex with him, Coronis lost her virginity, which she should have kept as a mother of a god. And when Apollo learned of her infidelity, he had Coronis killed by his sister Artemis.
Oh.
When Coronis' body was cremated, Hermes saved Asclepius at the last second. And the sun god entrusted him to the care of Chiron, and Asclepius grew into a man whose medical knowledge was really greater than either Chiron's or Apollo's knowledge. And Athena gave Asclepius 2 vials of Medusa's blood, and blood from Medusa's left side brought the dead back to life, and blood from her right side brought death. And with the magic power of Medusa's blood, Asclepius could even bring the dead back to life. But this threatened, of course, the cosmic order. Hades condemned the encroachment on his domain and complained to Zeus. And Zeus really saw the problem and killed Asclepius with a thunderbolt. And when Asclepius resurrected himself with the help of the Gorgon's blood, really Hades lost his patience with him. Asclepius had to disappear, and under the circumstances, only Mount Olympus remained, and therefore Zeus elevated him and declared him a semigod. A god, not a semigod. A semigod he was before a demigod. Astrologically, according to Bernadette Brady, Ras Alhaque is the empathetic and compassionate healer. And healing means becoming whole on a psychological, social, human, physical, idealistic, or even a global level. It is a gift and need to save lives, to heal or repair something that has been damaged or wounded, and to help others to deal with the injustices of life. So Ras Alhaque loves people and their stories. This can lead a person with Ras Alhaque into medical, social, political, psychotherapeutic, or even environmental fields. And of course, everything has a shadow side. The shadow side of Ras Alhaque could be the helpless helper syndrome. You know, you only feel loved and valuable if you assist others or put yourself in selfless situations. So the healthy balance between giving and taking is no longer there.
Mm.
And another shadow aspect, I think, is the demigod in white attitude. So a supposed human who demonstrates his powers. And I think these are really fantasies of grandeur and ego inflation. And this distorted form is really therapeutic narcissism. And therefore, it is important to balance these issues like a skilled snark shamer is doing is. So do this before you work with other people.
Entertainment.
And as a humble healer, Ras Alhaque acknowledges that something greater than him is healing. So ego aspects are unknown to him. He's conscious of his own limitations. And Ras Alhaque understands that healing does not always imply a restoration to the norm. Sometimes it could also mean a transition, a new transition into a new state of being. However, this implies staying connected to all forms of life, so light and shadow, joy and sorrow, and good and evil. So this is my take on Ras Alhaque, and as always, the fun part comes.
Fun part, yeah.
Rod is talking about the Chinese culture meaning.
Yes. Well, I know we already talked about this a long time ago, and I like this because before I do my research, I was just thinking, oh, Ras Alhaque in the Chinese astrology means whole. Whole, which means there is several meaning. You know, in Chinese language, a character can mean so many things. But this character, one of the meaning everyone knows, which means a prince, a label, a title princess. So it's like a duke or baron. Well, this one equals a Western, hierarchy, say marquis. So it's a prince, kind of a nobleman. This constellation and this star is located in the three central area of the Chinese sky. One is the Forbidden City, that's the royal court. And interestingly, even when we call it a marquis or a prince, but his position is located at sky market, a prince at the market. What, he's doing shopping or something. So this concept is always, what should I say? I'm very curious and it confused me. It's right next to the star. Last time we talking about Ras Alhaque. Ras Alhaque in Chinese meaning means the seat of Sky Emperor, which means the temple, a little shrine or temple of Sky Emperor. Mm. So, who exists in a temple? Usually, we say a priest And what's priest's job? Saying, deliver the language of the gods. Indeed, holy stars or these stars in Chinese meaning indeed is another long lost meaning, means observation. An officer who does observation. Who it is? Astrologer. So Ho is a star represent astrologer. This is how the ancient text from the treatise of astrology in Kaiyuan era says Marcus is responsible for yin and yang, which in Chinese way, when he says something is related to yin yang, which means a divination art, include the tarot card, feng shui, I Ching, anything, an astrology tree. So
interesting.
he examined the foreign country far away by learning the sign in the sky. He mastering the changing of time, changing of era. He is tell you the security of goods and the property and the kind of peaceful time. So it's a lucky star indeed. Well, I would say if we don't do the research, we don't know this is a star represent astrologer.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So in the Chinese astrology, Ras Alhaque is a star present astrologer in the market who deliver the God's message.
In the market.
In the market. So he is not the rather cold one. He is a market one. He is a sitting in the tent and reading your tarot card and your palm for $10. No, not really. I'm joking. No. He did say he did bring the important news about the foreign country moving and the changing of a time, security of a good and markets, and is a time peaceful or not. So it's an astrologer. I'm just joking because it's sky market. So I'm trying to say he read your palm for $10. Sorry. Okay. Well, comes to another part. I'm just like I don't really feel sorry to show you these two pictures, which you probably already know these two pictures, but because I really want to show you the deep sky object around these constellations. So the first one, you guys probably already see. I show you this. This called the Ras Ophiuchus color complex, which means it's in the lower part of Ophiuchus, and right next to Antares, there is a blue nebula and the dark nebula. So this part, dark and blue, belong to Ophiuchus. Because right next to it, you can see the bright orange and the red one. These are the stars from Scorpio, especially this one is Antares. So I think that's why I say you probably know this picture, because when I talk about Antares, I always show this picture. And I think I love its beauty, the color, orange, yellow, blue, and dark, even the dark. And this is belong to Ophiuchus, blue and dark. I like it. So its position is under the knees of right on his leg and the right above Antares. So it's around here. Today I'm going to show you another picture. You also already see it, but I want to show you because this is a nebula, famous nebula in the tail of serpent, called the Eagle Nebula. I think I show you because I was so proud about this picture. Another name of this area called the Pile of Creation. We know this part, the Pile of Creation. But indeed, there is a lot of star forming at this area. So that's why it's called Pile of Creation. And it's beautiful and magical. So it's on the tail. We know the serpent. Serpent has a meaning of a life. Serpent have a meaning of end is the life, tail is the end, tail is the end is the beginning is the end. Ouroboros idea. So that's what I'm going to share with everyone today. I mean, well, in this time in the late of November, and we are go dealing with a little bit dark, a little bit gloomy. I hope some nice photo will show up. And also, I mean, next month we'll come back to talk about the fixed stars, and then I really hope to see you guys. And then, well, next week I think this is recording, so next week we will have Marcus and Mandy come back to talk about the monthly transit, and then we will have the monthly mundane astrology talk. But also, I mean, from next year, we will have the monthly talk every month. So we have two talks. One will be related to mundane astrology, and the one will be related to astrology in everyday life. Could be relationship, could be family, you know, could be financial, could be health. So I'm really looking forward to see everyone there. Okay. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you for your time.
And see you, everyone. See you, Rod.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.